everyone, it's Jess from Compost. Today I'm going to make a video about restoring a plant, and I haven't discovered my green thumb. I'm still in the process of discovering to grow things, and I'm obsessed with trash, and I love talking about compost and doing things with compost, not just talking about it, but actually composting, I got a honey stick. It's going everywhere. Anyways, this is a really special video today because I had a lot of changes in my life, and a lot of things and people were removed from my life, and there's new openings, and it's been a process, of course. I'm figuring it out, but it's come with a lot of pain, and this is what we experience as human beings, is pain. And some ways that I have found to help soothe that pain is getting into nature and crying and writing about it and shifting the focus, which is stuff I work on. But this is really special to me because I haven't spoken to my mother, or my mother hasn't spoken to me in about a year. There was some stuff that happened between us, and I went to her house 2 weeks ago, and she actually opened the door to me and was open to talk to me, and we hung out and talked for a couple hours, which is really nice. And I didn't know when the next time I was going to be able to see her again, so I just kind of accepted the way things are. We have this psychology as human beings. We're sensitive, or we're unkind, or we do things that other people don't like, etc., etc. Just like nature. Trees fall and plants die, and then plants grow and we don't want them to grow, but they do, because that's just nature, and it's just part of life, I guess. And I wasn't home at this time, but my mother unexpectedly stopped by my house a couple days later and brought me this plant, which is kind of just a thing of dead soil, and I've watered it for a couple days. But she also left me this note, and it says, "Hey Kel, I hoped you'd be home. I wanted to see if you could revive this plant for me. I killed it in 5 days." It's called Callias, and that's how you say it. It was great it was great spending time with you the other day. Always remember, I love you, Mom. So super sweet. So what I'm gonna do, the best that I can, is try to revive this plant. And I looked up a lot of videos about this plant, and I think it's actually, it's kind of a succulent, a little bit, I guess. I need a little bit of coffee. And the plants that they were reviving online, they still had their leaves, and it was just the leaves were kind of withering. But this is just the root. But what I saw from the videos is that they clip the leaves off, and they clip from the stem and then to the root. They clipped it off, and then they put it in a glass jar filled with water and just let it sit and let the roots grow. So that's what I'm gonna do with this one, is to see if I can revive this. And if I don't, that's okay, because it will turn into something else. And that's the beauty about nature and with soil, is that it may look like it's dead, but doesn't mean that in the current state that it's in, that it's always going to be that way. Things always transmute and transform. So, but if you look at the soil, it's actually kind of wet inside. I have watered a little bit, and the instructions on here say filtered sun. I need water once to twice a week, and it says more info, for more care info about me, text this number. So I could text this number, honestly. But what I learned on YouTube University, is just taking the roots, the soil off from the roots. And it's like, Mom, what did you give me? Come on, Mom. You trying to test me? She's not. But just taking the soil kind of off and letting the roots be around, dangling down, and I feel something right here. So I'm just going to kind of lightly take this soil off. And I mean, this part, this stem is like pretty freaking dead. And it seems like it's viable right here. So I'll cut it up until right there. Let me get some scissors. These aren't gardening scissors. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take it right there and cut it. That's the inside, and it's like pretty dead. And it feels actually pretty moist right here. So what I'm gonna do is put this in here, and this may take a couple weeks to see the roots grow, and this honestly might sink. I'm like, shit, there are all the roots there. I wish there was like a way I could, oh, I think I gotta put like a toothpick in it so it's hanging across. I think I have toothpicks. Actually, I have an idea. So I know this is a tea filter, but I'm gonna have a chopstick on the top, and I'm going to put the roots in here like this, so that, well, not that far. It's like the roots are talking. They're like, hey, put me in the water. Just put it down like that. And I'm not sure how I'm gonna make this stick or stay up. I'll just put it like on the side. See, you can use anything. You can make it make sense. Make anything make sense. We're in a modern time with so much stuff, and there's so much trash, and there's so many rules. It's overwhelming. So we gotta make things make sense, and things don't always have to be perfect. It doesn't always have to look like this extravagant setup or whatever. It doesn't have to be, I don't know, always bougie stuff all the time. But we just gotta work with what we have. And see, this isn't gonna work because it's sinking to the bottom, and I don't want it to do that. I don't want it to be completely doused in water all the time. I want the top of the roots too. Okay, after examining so many of the cups that I have, I decided to go on this one, and I found my toothpicks, which you've already seen. I'm just gonna poke that hole through there and put it in the middle of the toothpick, and then fill this up with water. And kind of just dunk this in here with the roots, so it's just hanging. And I'll change cups because the roots will expand supposedly, and that's what happened in the other video. I want to post this video right now and then do like a part 2 of how the roots are doing in like a couple weeks. So this might be like a month process. So I'm excited for this. But this is something that's really important to me because it's hopefully restoring a relationship with and a friendship with my mother, and helping us rekindle in a peaceful way. And I know a lot of us humans in this world can have issues with each other, and it just is what it is. You know, we don't always do the right thing all the time. We don't always say the right thing or act the right way, and that kind of comes down to the root of the overwhelming amount of trash that we see in this world, the overwhelming amount of growing toxins, and the climate changes and environmental changes. It's just so many of us are not really thinking about nature in a way. We're not symbiotically living with nature like we used to, like our ancestors used to. But all of this stuff was built in this world for comfort and for ease. And we're in a lifetime where we're very comfortable and we have a lot of things easy. We've always had psychological stuff as human beings. But the reason why I'm saying all of this is because, I want to say this to give hope to other people that it's possible to restore things. It's possible to restore nature. And nature doesn't need us. The earth doesn't need us. The earth is fine. we are just gluttonously doing a lot of things on this earth for pleasure, which is also fine. It's part of our expansion as a human species and a part of our consciousness. But there's things that can get a little messy along the way, just like in relationships. A lot of destruction and suffering, which is part of another creation. But this is just a video showing the process and stages of regrowing a plant that my mother brought to my house in our little rekindling of our mother and daughter relationship. And I just want to give hope to other people in this world or anyone that watches these videos. Oh my gosh, is that like is that a worm? Like, what is that? You see that on the, that's part of the root that just like came out. It was so weird. I say it a lot. Anyways, I have a lot of soil left over, so I have another plant that I want to restore as well, and I'll make another video about that one too. So I'll have 2 plants I restore. Do my best to do that. Excuse me. Anyways, I just want to give hope to anyone that watches this video, anyone in the world that is kind of anxious and scared about the trajectory of nature and the planet, but also is a human. So you're probably human if you're watching this, but that has, problems with other people and family and people that they love, that it's possible to restore, and if it doesn't get restored, that it's difficult, but it's okay because it transmutes into something else. And everything that we experience in this life is for us to evolve and to seek higher. It's not seek, but just letting go and just going with the flow of life, because there's a lot of changes and a lot of things that happen in this life and with relationships with other people. And I think it's really important, our relationships with things and nature and with people. And I say this, I do this, I wish I would do this to the image that I have in my mind of how I want to be and how I want to process things in life. But I don't know if I'm making any sense at all. What I'm saying is that, if you're disappointed in yourself and in the way the world is and the way nature is, it's okay. And we just have to let go of the images that we think how things should look like, and go with the flow and accept the way things are. And I'm not saying to just let things be the way they are. We do need to do things together and work together peacefully. We just I gotta lighten up and watch the process. So we'll see how this baby does in a couple weeks, and we'll see how the rekindling of my relationship with my mother and how we reunite. Gonna follow this plant and trust in the plant. The more the roots grow, I believe the more healing we'll have, and the more peaceful times that we'll have together again. So anyways, thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. We'll see how it goes. Till next time. Bye.